Okay, so get this. Online gambling. It brought in like almost $67 billion globally just last year, 2022. And by 2030, it's expected to almost double to about 113 billion.
Wow. That's
a massive jump. Like, that's just huge growth.
It is. And it makes you wonder what's going on, in different parts of the world.
Yeah, right. Like, what does that actually look like on the ground?
Exactly.
So for this deep dive, we thought, let's zoom in. Let's look at online betting in Guinea specifically.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
So whether you're, trying to learn more about this, or maybe you just want to keep up with what's happening, or even if you're just curious, like, what is this whole online betting world about? This is the place to be.
It's fascinating, right, to see how, like, these big global trends that we hear about in the news, how they actually play out in specific countries.
Right. And to get into the details, we found this really helpful article from BetPlace.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's called Top 10 Best Betting Sites in Guinea, Best Apps and Sites. And just so you know, we'll put a link to that article in the description.
Awesome.
So today, what we want to do is kind of break down the most important parts of that article so we can all get a good grasp on what's going on with online betting in Guinea without getting too lost in the weeds.
Yeah, make it digestible, right?
Exactly. So we're going to highlight the key points and, talk about some of the major players in this scene.
Makes sense. So if we focus on Guinea, it's almost like a case study, right? We can see how all these things we hear about, like more people getting online, the way money moves around digitally, how those factors actually affect online gambling in a real place.
Precisely. So let's jump right in. What's the online gambling scene like in Guinea right now?
Well, kind of like those global trends you talked about, with the billions of dollars, Guinea's seeing a lot of growth in online gambling too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mainly because of two things. One, sports betting is becoming super popular there, especially betting on football. And two, more and more people are interested in playing casino games online.
That makes sense. I mean, football's huge everywhere.
Yeah.
And Guinea's population is pretty big too, right? Over 13 million people, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. That's a lot of potential bettors. And there's something else that really kicked things off for online gambling in Guinea back in the early 2000s.
Oh, what's that?
They made sports betting legal. That was a big move. It basically set the stage for all these online platforms we see today.
So it sounds like access and convenience are really driving this. Being able to bet or play casino games right from your phone, that's got to be appealing to a lot of people.
Definitely. It's just so easy. And online, you have way more choices than, like, a regular betting shop or casino.
True. And of course, there's the chance of winning money. That's always a draw, right?
Of course. That's the excitement of it all.
For sure. Now, let's say you're in Guinea and you want to try online betting. How do you even choose a site? There are so many options, it can be overwhelming.
That's a great point. You really need to know what to look for. And that's where this BetPlace article comes in handy. They give some really good advice.
Okay, like what?
First thing, and this is the most important, is licensing and regulation.
So basically making sure the site is legit, right?
Exactly. In Guinea, there's this organization called the National Lottery Authority, and they're in charge of giving licenses to betting sites. If you're going to bet online in Guinea, you got to make sure the site you're using has a license from them.
Got it. So that's like the baseline. What else should people be thinking about?
Security is super important too. You're going to be putting in your personal info and financial details, so you want a site that takes security seriously.
Right.
The good sites use strong encryption, to protect your data. And they should also have tools that help people gamble responsibly. Things like setting limits on how much you can deposit, or taking a break if you need to, or even blocking yourself from the site completely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a big point that BetPlace article makes, how important player security is.
That makes sense. Okay, so we've got the basics covered. Now, let's be honest. A lot of people get drawn in by bonuses and promotions.
Right, those flashy offers.
Yeah, exactly. So how do those work?
Well, things like welcome bonuses for new users or reload bonuses for people who already have an account, they can definitely add some extra value. But here's the thing. You got to read the fine print. There are usually terms and conditions that come with those bonuses. Like, you might have to bet a certain amount of money before you can actually withdraw any winnings from the bonus. Those are called wagering requirements. Yeah, so it's not always as straightforward as it seems.
So apart from bonuses, what else is important when choosing a betting site in Guinea?
Convenient payment methods are key. You want to be able to deposit and withdraw money easily using options that are readily available to you.
Makes sense.
And another thing that a lot of people don't think about at first, but it's really crucial, is customer support. What happens if you run into a problem or you have a question? You want to be able to get help, and you want to be able to communicate easily with the support team.
Right, you don't want to be stuck with no one to help you.
Exactly. And in Guinea, it's important that the site offers support in French and maybe even some local languages.
Makes it accessible for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, earlier we mentioned the National Lottery Authority, the ones who issue licenses. What else do they do?
They don't just hand out licenses and call it a day. They set strict rules that all the licensed sites have to follow.
Oh, okay.
They're really focused on protecting players, making sure everything's above board. They want to encourage responsible gambling, and they're also working to prevent things like money laundering.
So it sounds like they're really trying to create a safe and regulated online betting environment in Guinea.
Yeah, they're taking it seriously. And the article from BetPlace pointed out that Guinea's regulations are actually getting more in line with international standards for online gambling. It's like there's a global understanding now that this is a big industry and it needs clear rules.
Makes sense. Okay, now for the part everyone's probably been waiting for. Which sites are considered the best in Guinea? I know the BetPlace article has a top 10 list.
They do. They've ranked the top 10 betting sites operating in Guinea. We don't have time to go through all of them, but we can highlight a few to give you an idea.
Perfect. Let's hear about some of the frontrunners.
All right, so first up is 1xBet. They have more than 500,000 active users, which is pretty impressive. They started in 2016, and BetPlace gave them an overall score of 3.3 out of 5. One thing that really stands out is their maximum withdrawal limit. It's 3 million euros.
Whoa. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. They also have some cool features like you can cash out your bet early if you want to, and there's a bet builder tool so you can combine different bets within the same event. Plus, they offer payouts in cryptocurrency.
Staying current with the times.
Exactly. And of course, they have customer support through live chat and email, a welcome bonus for new users, and they're properly licensed.
That sounds pretty comprehensive. All right, what's next on the list?
Next up is Melbit. They have over 100,000 active users, and they got a much higher score from BetPlace, 4.7 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, they've been around since 2012. Their maximum withdrawal is 50,000 euros. They've got Catch Out, Bet Builder, and they even offer live streaming for some events.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can watch the game and bet at the same time. They also do crypto payouts, have live chat and email support, a welcome bonus, and a license. And another big plus, they have mobile apps for Android, iOS, and even Windows.
So they're really focused on making things accessible for people on their phones. Okay, let's hear about another one from the top 10.
Let's talk about 1xBet. They've got a huge user base, over 400,000 active users, and BetPlace gave them an impressive score of 4.88 out of 5. They've been around for a while, since 2007, and their maximum withdrawal is 600,000 euros. They offer a ton of features, including cash out, a betting exchange, bet builder, live streaming, crypto payouts, live and email support, a welcome bonus, and they're licensed. Plus, they have mobile apps for Android and iOS.
Hold on, a betting exchange, what's that?
It's a platform where you can bet against other users, not just against the site itself.
Oh, interesting. So you're essentially betting against other people.
Exactly. It adds another layer to the betting experience.
Makes sense. All right, let's hear about one more top pick from BetPlace.
All right, last one is Bet365. This is a really big player. They have over 45 million active users globally.
Wow, that's massive.
Yeah, they're a well-established company. BetPlace gave them a score of 4.2 out of 5. They've been around since 2000, and their maximum withdrawal is 100,000 euros. They have the usual features: cash out, bet builder, customer support by phone and email, a welcome bonus, and they're licensed. But one thing that makes them stand out is that they have licenses from multiple reputable gambling authorities, including Malta, Denmark, and Sweden.
Oh, so they're meeting the standards of multiple countries. That's impressive.
Yeah, it definitely adds to their credibility. They also have mobile apps for Android and iOS.
So it seems like these top sites are all doing well in the areas that BetPlace focused on. Safety, bonuses, and user experience.
Exactly. Those are the key things that matter to most users.
Now let's shift gears a bit. What types of bets are really popular in Guinea? The BetPlace article mentioned sports betting, right?
Yeah, sports betting is huge there. As we said before, football is king. But people also bet on basketball, tennis, boxing, the major sports.
And are there any specific leagues or events that Guinean bettors are particularly drawn to?
Well, according to BetPlace, the English Premier League is very popular for football. In basketball, it's the NBA. And for tennis, it's the ATP and WTA tours. Big boxing events also get a lot of attention.
So basically, the leagues and events that are popular worldwide.
Right. People tend to bet on what they know and watch.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about casino games? Are those popular in Guinea too?
Definitely. The top betting platforms in Guinea, the ones BetPlace highlighted, they all offer a wide variety of casino games.
Like what?
You've got your slots, tons of different slots with different themes and features. Then you've got your classic table games, blackjack, roulette, baccarat. And then there's the live dealer games, which are becoming super popular these days.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those. What are they exactly?
So they're basically like playing in a real casino, but you're doing it online. They have a live video stream of a real dealer, and you can interact with them and the other players.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
It's a more immersive experience. And BetPlace mentioned something important about how these digital casino games work.
Oh, what's that?
They use something called random number generator technology, or RNG for short.
RNG.
Yeah, it's basically a complex algorithm that makes sure the results of the games are completely random and fair.
So there's no way to manipulate the outcome.
Exactly. They even gave an example. The platform OneWin, they have over 8,000 games, including over 100 live tables. And they offer a 500% welcome bonus, which is pretty generous.
Wow, 8,000 games. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And they accept a variety of payment methods that are popular in Guinea, like bank cards, cryptocurrencies, and perfect money.
So they're really catering to the local market. Now, we've talked about accessing these sites on computers, but mobile betting apps have to be a big deal, right?
Huge deal, especially in Guinea, where lots of people rely on their mobile phones for internet access.
Makes sense.
With a mobile app, you can bet, check the odds, play casino games, all from your phone, wherever you are.
It's all about convenience.
Exactly. And these apps often have extra features, like you can bet on games while they're happening. They call it live betting. And you get real-time updates on the scores and odds.
I can see why that would be popular.
Yeah, it's really changed the game. And BetPlace actually quoted someone from Guinea about this.
Oh, is it?
They talked to a woman named Samantha, who's really into sports betting. And she basically said that mobile betting has revolutionized how people in Guinea gamble. She said it's so easy to access her favorite betting markets and games now thanks to mobile apps.
That's a pretty powerful statement. It really shows how important these apps are. Now let's talk about money. How do people in Guinea typically fund their betting accounts and withdraw their winnings?
The BetPlace article gives a good rundown of the payment options.
Yeah.
You've got the usual debit and credit cards like Visa and MasterCard. There are also e-wallets like Skrill and Neteller and sometimes PayPal. You can also do bank transfers. But one thing that's really important in Guinea and in a lot of African countries is mobile money. Services like Orange Money and MTN Mobile Money are super popular there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and some platforms are even starting to accept prepaid cards and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
So there are a lot of different options to choose from.
Yeah, and BetPlace mentioned that minimum deposits are usually pretty low, somewhere between $1 and €10, so it's accessible for most people.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and they said that maximum bonus offers can go up to €150 on some platforms. But remember those wagering requirements we talked about?
Right, right.
They said those usually range from having to bet 3 times the bonus amount to 10 times the bonus amount. And the bonuses are usually valid for 7 to 30 days.
Okay, so there are some things to keep in mind.
Yeah. Oh, and another important point. A lot of the top betting sites in Guinea accept the local currency, the Guinean franc.
So people don't have to worry about currency conversions.
Exactly. It makes things a lot easier. Now, we've talked about customer support before, but BetPlace really emphasized how important it is.
Yeah. What did they say specifically?
They said that good customer support is essential for a good online betting experience. They recommended looking for sites that offer multiple ways to contact them, like live chat for immediate help, email for less urgent issues, and ideally, even phone support.
So you have options depending on what you need.
Exactly. And they also pointed out that in Guinea, with its linguistic diversity, the best sites offer support in both French, the official language, and local languages.
That's really important for making sure everyone feels included and can get the help they need. Now let's talk more about those bonuses and promotions that BetPlace mentioned. What are some of the typical offers that people in Guinea might see?
Well, as we mentioned before, welcome bonuses are pretty common. They might give you free bets or match a percentage of your first deposit. Then there are reload bonuses, which give you extra money when you make more deposits after your first one. And then there are ongoing promotions, things like free bets based on how much you bet, cashback offers that give you back a portion of your losses, and loyalty programs that reward you for being a regular customer.
So there are ways to get extra value out of your betting.
Exactly. BetPlace probably gives some specific examples of these promotions in their article.
Let's check it out. Now, one thing we haven't talked much about is responsible gambling.
That's a really important topic.
Yeah, so what are the betting sites doing to promote responsible gambling in Guinea?
Well, according to BetPlace, the reputable sites are really taking this seriously. They're putting tools in place to help people stay in control of their gambling.
Like what?
Things like setting deposit limits so you can decide how much you're comfortable spending. There are also timeout options if you need a break from betting for a while. And then there's self-exclusion, where you can basically block yourself from the site entirely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's for people who feel like their gambling is becoming a problem. And these sites also often provide information about responsible gambling, and they may even partner with organizations that help people who are struggling with gambling addiction.
It's good to know that there are resources available for people who need them. Now, one thing that can be confusing for people new to betting is understanding the odds.
Yeah, it can seem complicated at first.
So how does BetPlace explain the different types of odds?
Well, they talk about the three main formats you might see: American odds, decimal odds, and fractional odds.
Okay.
They probably give specific examples in the article, but just to give you an idea, with decimal odds, if the odds are 2.0 and you bet 10 euros, you'd win 20 euros if you're right. So you get your 10 euros back plus 10 euros in profit. Understanding the different formats can help you compare odds across different sites and make smarter bets.
So it's worth taking the time to learn about them.
Absolutely. And they mentioned that a lot of the top bookmakers in Guinea use reputable odds providers like GammaStack, Betradar, and L Sports. These providers make sure the odds are competitive and transparent.
Okay, so it's not just random numbers. Now, speaking of BetPlace, it's probably worth talking a little bit about them.
Yeah, good point.
What do they say about themselves?
Well, on their About Us page, they say that they're a validation site for betting platforms. Basically, they try to find the best betting sites based on a bunch of different factors. They look at user reviews, they get input from experts, and they use all that information to create their rankings and reviews.
So they're kind of like a watchdog for the online betting world.
Yeah, something like that. They also have a Contact Us page if you have any questions or feedback for them.
Good to know. Okay, before we wrap up, BetPlace included some frequently asked questions in their article. Are there any that we should highlight for our listeners?
Yeah, there are a few good ones. One question is betting legal in Guinea? And the answer is yes, it is legal and regulated by the government.
So no need to worry about getting in trouble.
Right. Another common question is, how do I find the best betting sites? And BetPlace recommends using sites like their own, which review and rank different platforms based on things like user experience, security, and bonuses.
Makes sense. What else?
There's also a question about how to actually get started with online betting.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The answer is pretty straightforward. You choose a site that has a license, create an account, deposit some money, and you're ready to bet.
Easy enough. And BetPlace also has top 10 lists for a bunch of other things besides just overall betting sites. Right?
Yeah, they really cover a lot of ground. They have lists for specific Guinean betting competitions like the Guinea League One and the Guinea Cup.
Okay.
They also rank popular sports games for betting like football, basketball, and tennis. And they even have lists for esports games like League of Legends and Counter-Strike.
Wow, they're really thorough.
Yeah, and they cover different types of bets like money line and point spread. They also have lists for virtual sports like virtual football. And of course, they cover both regular and live dealer casino games with examples like slots and live blackjack.
So they're really showing the whole range of options that people in Guinea have for online betting.
Exactly. It's a pretty impressive resource.
It really is. So to sum everything up, we've learned a lot about online betting in Guinea from this BetPlace article.
Yeah, it's a growing market with lots of opportunities for both bettors and the companies that run the sites.
We talked about the importance of choosing licensed and regulated sites, the different types of bets and games available, the convenience of mobile betting apps, and the need for good customer support and responsible gambling tools.
It's a complex landscape, but hopefully this deep dive has given you a better understanding of how it all works.
Exactly. And to leave you with something to think about, consider this. With all the advancements in technology and the changing regulations, what do you think will be the next big thing in online betting in Guinea?
That's a good question.
It's definitely an evolving industry, And if you want to learn more, remember that we've got the link to the original article from BetPlace in the description below.
Go check it out.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.